Greetings, dear chess fans and experts. This is FIDE Master Max Omariev with you, and today we'll look at the new anti-record of the world champion, where he lost to a 16-year-old Grandmaster from India, who is known as Gukesh D. This is the youngest chess player who has ever beaten Magnus Carlsen. The previous junior who beat the champion was Shamsiddin Vokhidov, a 16-year-old master. A video dedicated to this game is on the channel. I recommend you watch it. Magnus played a little bit disrespectful to his opponent there, and, by the way, he made the same mistake this time as well. Let's look at all the chess players with the highest ratings in the history of under 16 chess players. Wei Yi is in first place, while Gukesh is in second place with a rating of 2,732. So this is not a 16-year-old master, but a solid Grandmaster with a rating of over 2,700. That's a doubtless talent. Even Alireza and Magnus had lower ratings when they were 16. And in the AIM Chess Rapid tournament, they met at the prelim stage, so it's the qualifying stage and Magnus played quite relaxed. Okay, Gukesh plays white. This is a 15-minute rapid game. The players have 15 minutes for all their moves, with a 20-second increment after each move. E4 and the world champion responds with E6. The French defense is quite unusual for him. He usually plays C5 or E5. He can also go for the Scandinavian defense, but he rarely plays the French defense. D4, D5, Knight C3, Knight F6. Well, he's good at finding his way around, of course. He's a brilliant chess player, so he can play any opening. We'll also see that in this game. After Knight C6, Bishop E3. This is just a theory. White has captured space here, but he has certain weaknesses. This is the B2 square, the D4 square. Black tries to press on it. They also have a plan to push pawns on the queen side. A6, Queen D2, B5. And here, in order to avoid the bind after C4 and B4, there might be a nasty push. White takes C5. Bishop takes C5 follows. Black develops in this way. Captured, captured. Bishop D3. White wants to castle as soon as possible because black is ready to attack on the queen side. Queen B6 is a move against short castling. You can't castle because after knight E4 check, the queen will fail. Queen F2, pinning the knight. B4, knight E2. Let's look at the clock. The opponents are still playing according to their home analysis without making a single move of their own. It seems to be all the fruits of home preparation. A5 is a logical move. Black wants to move their bishop to A6, castling. You can't take that because the queen hangs. Bishop A6 and F5. Gukesh plays aggressively. He has no respect for the champion, at least not in his moves. He plays defiantly. EF, Knight F4. He wants to capture the D5 pawn. Knight E7 and E6. What just happened? He sacrificed a pawn. He sacrifices another pawn in order to completely open up the position. For example, if we take the pawn on E6, then here white can go knight takes E6. You can't take the knight because of queen B6. The queen drops off. On queen E6, we can take the knight and then rook E1. Black can't castle because the knight will drop off. In general, white has a great initiative here. That's why the world champion plays F6, refuses this gift. Rook C1. The move is already a very serious mistake. And it's probably one of the first moves that Gukesh made on his own. What's the flaw in it? First of all, we need to understand its purpose. He expected that black would take on D3, and after the exchange, the rook will move to the C file. He should have chosen another strategy, attacking the D5 pawn. After rook D1, white wants to play just bishop takes A6, then castling from black, for example, and take the D5 pawn. You must agree the rook is much more relevant here than on the C1 square. The pawn is taken, and then everything's good. But after rook C1, this move has no good ideas. I also note that after rook D1, we can't protect the pawn with rook D8 because a bishop takes A6 and the piece is lost. On queen A6, queen C5, and on knight A6, we take this queen. That's why he should have played rook D1. After rook C1, Magnus confidently captures the pawn with queen D6 while attacking the knight. He also unpins the C5 knight. Captured, captured. CB, knight hangs. B4 can't be captured because it's in danger here. Perhaps this was what Gukesh was counting on when he moved his rook to the c-file. But there's an elegant discovery, knight e4. The queen's attacked, and after queen e3, ab follows. This pawn now hangs. In fact, it's not so easy to defend. Knight d4 is played by white. Yes, because what's left to do? He can't play queen b3 because of the hanging knight. Rook a1 is too passive, so knight d4 is looking for a counterplay. Rook captures a2. Magnus is up 2 pawns. Knight b5, it would have been more accurate to withdraw the queen to b8 so he could attack the knight again, but the move queen e5 is also not bad, which was performed by the world champion. But the problem is in his next move. After rook c7, white attacks the knight, and here Magnus... let's look at the clock. In a matter of seconds, Magnus makes the move rook e8. He thought for 30 seconds, defending the knight. But this move, judging by the bar, is not the best. He should have retreated the knight to g6, creating tension on the f4 square with the idea to exchange the knight. In case of knight h5, yeah, it seems we've got a problem with the pawn. Well, to hell with it. We play f4 attacking boldly. After rook g7, king h8, queen h3. We can play knight g5 attacking the queen. On queen g4, knight takes e6. The rook hangs, and on rook b7, we take this pawn. And black has 3 extra pawns. White has no attack, the pieces are badly organized, all by themselves. In general, black has an absolutely won position. It's -10 on the bar. Instead of that, Magnus plays rook e8. Yeah, this move can be understood, it protects the knight, but the problem is in white's next move, queen b6. It turns out that Magnus has got real difficulties. Gukesh has executed this move instantly. Apparently he was preparing such a bomb. He hoped for it and gladly, instantly executed this move. What's the problem after the move queen b6? There's a threat of capturing the knight. Say on rook takes b2, we just take here. We check and deliver such a mate. And if we play knight g6 this way, then we can add queen b7, and on the 7th rank, the decisive invasion begins. We just delivered this kind of mate. So Magnus realized that it's better to lose a piece than to get mated. He plays knight g5, rook e7 follows. Rook a8, here he could use some good advice. There's no defense. Queen c7 follows with an offer to exchange queens. Of course he doesn't want to accept it, going to the lost endgame without a piece. So the world champion plays queen e3 check. After king h1, Magnus realizes that there's no defense against the checkmate. And at that point, Magnus signed the act of surrender. Thereby Gukesh became the youngest Grandmaster to beat Magnus Carlsen, for which we congratulate him. And it can't be said that it was an accidental success because he took 2nd place at the prelims stage, ahead of the world champion. Magnus was only 5th. 8 places went to the playoffs, but Richard Rapport defeated Gukesh in a tight match in the quarterfinals. Gukesh was leading and then Rapport won 2 and the match was in his favor. And Magnus lost to Duda in the semifinals, who won the tournament in the end. And I thank you for your attention. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Give this video a like and don't forget to hit the bell button as well to make sure you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Keep playing and studying chess, and I'll see you in the next one.